Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Last time we returned to Doma and also a Garlean ambassador visited to... Apparently the Garleans want peace talks or something. We will see. Such scenes of devastation greet us on our journey here. The bitter wages of war. I have read much about the architecture and geology of Doma. Word does not do it justice. Upon disembarking, we will proceed directly to my hall, where we may enjoy some privacy. Lord Hien and I will accompany the Imperial delegation on the first ferry. When you're ready, speak with a boatman and join us on the other side. All are free to travel in and out of your enclave. Do you seek passage? I must admit, I had entirely forgotten this area existed. We were here once, a long time ago. Oh, Aetherites, huh? When we freed Doma and there was nothing here. So I go quickly attune. Okay. Hey, you two. How's it going? The residents took the news of the Imperial delegation well enough. It should be business as usual. So it's to be a peace negotiation. I'm curious as to see what the ambassador brings to the discussion table. Thanks to Master Alvin or Mistress Alice's assurances, the people are reacting calmly to Imperial presence. There you are, Serenia. So, first things first, what do you think of the Enclave? I must say I'm quite proud of what my countrymen have accomplished in the time. We even have an Aetherite now, courtesy of the Onishishu. Be sure and attune to it, would you? Once it has the Warrior of Light seal of approval, people might actually start using the thing. But on the matter at hand, the ambassador and his retinue are at my hall, taking their ease ahead of the negotiations. I want you aware when the talking starts. It will serve to send a message to the Empire that Eorzea and Doma stand united. I am not normally one for hollow posturing, but in this game of nations, such gestures carry weight. Oh, and should you feel uneasy about speaking for the science, Alphino and Alice will also be there. We'd only eat, drink, and look imposing. Say you'll come. I'll be there. I knew I could count on you. When you're ready, come and join me at my humble abode, the Kienkan. The guardsman will let you in. Lord Hien is expecting you. May I show you in?
On behalf of my delegation, I offer you my humblest thanks. Never did I imagine that I would meet the gallant and noble Lord of Doma himself, nor be welcomed into his magnificent hall.
You'll forgive me if we forgo the pleasantries. You say you are come to negotiate peace. Unless I am mistaken, such negotiations are typically conducted between sovereign nations. I was not aware that the Emperor had recognized Doma's sovereignty.
His Radiance has yet to do so, that much is true. Know, however, that he has expressed willingness to cede Doma to her ancestral masters and treat with her as a friend. Since the days of Emperor Solus, the Empire has aggressively expanded its territory. While you may not agree with our founding father's policy of expansion, I believe there is room for discussion on the matter of his lifelong goal, to rid the world of icons.
True enough.
Icons are a blight upon this star. They cannot be suffered to exist. This you know as well as we. In his wisdom, Emperor Varus wishes to explore the possibility of an alliance to combat this common threat. On the condition that Doma renounces summoning and pledges to police the Korgians' practice of it, his Radiance would extend the hand of friendship.
Doma has never shown any appetite for summoning, and it should go without saying that we will address any threat to our people, icon or otherwise. With regard to the Korjin, I must stress that they only resorted to summoning under extreme provocation. When the Ruby Sea was at peace and their sacred relics safe, they looked not to their kami for protection. Yet even now there are certain parties who would destabilize the region with ill-conceived military forays. Unless they alter their course, we cannot hope to be rid of icons.
Quite. I can but apologize. In seeking to eliminate icons, the Empire creates them. 'Tis an irony among ironies, one with which the people of Eorzea are well acquainted, I am told.
That was a barb. But he is true. That was what the Hien said at the end of Extreme Primals when you did what was it? Titan, Garuda, Ifrit, Extreme, and after that in the quest line it says a pair of Hien show up and say that it helps them when we kill the icons because it makes the beast tribes more desperate to summon ever more powerful creatures.
Indeed, many summonings are the result of persecution, the weak being driven to call upon the divine for deliverance from the strong. So it was in Alamigo, the bitter fruit of Garlean oppression.
Well counted.
A tragic state of affairs. If we are to put an end to summoning once and for all, it shall not be through might, but harmony. Yet we continue to repeat our mistakes, oblivious to the lessons of history. My comrades and I would change all that. We, Populares, have campaigned long and hard for a shift in imperial policy. And at last, the Emperor has seen fit to lend us an ear. Alas, there is a faction within Garlemald that would obstruct our every attempt at reform. A collection of pure-blooded Garleans who seek to consolidate their own supremacy. The Optimates. Lest you wonder, Theirs was the hand that loosed our forces on the Confederacy. 'Twas a regrettable incident, one that flies in the face of everything we believe. And I swear to do all in my power to prevent a reoccurrence.
That would be most welcome. But if I may speak plain, if the Empire itself is not of one mind, how can we be certain that any peace we negotiate will be honored?
I cannot blame you for doubting us. Indeed, I should find it strange if you did not. And so, in the name of building trust, I would like to make a proposal. A prisoner exchange. Under Garlean rule, no few Dormans were conscripted into the Imperial Army. We would repatriate them in return for those of ours you captured in the recent conflict. Naturally, any exchange would include the acting Viceroy.
Yotsu? What makes you think we have her?
Forgive me, my lord. Was it not your wish to speak plain? Let us not play games. I desire only to work to our mutual benefit. The Optimates tried and failed to take my sister by force. I would succeed by peaceable means, thereby strengthening my party's hand. 'Twould be a lie to say I would not also be glad of my sister's safe return.
A fellow plain speaker. How refreshing. Very well. Your proposal has merit, but I will need time to consider it.
Of course, my lord. May we remain in Doma until you have come to a decision?
You shall be our honored guests. Yugiri, I leave the ambassador and his retinue in your care. See that they are well looked after.
You have our gratitude, Lord Hien. We shall look forward to your answer.
I did not think he was convincing, but the fact that there are two opposing factions at work in Garlean complicates matters. Even assuming Asai and his associates can be trusted, what of the others? That the Emperor should send Yotsu's stepbrother of all people. I wonder how he feels, the son of Doma returning home to speak for the oppressors his countrymen drove out. Whatever Lord Hien's decision should be, I shall abide by it. Yet I would be glad to welcome my lost brothers back to Doma. Well, that was unexpected. You can say that again. I still don't know quite what to make of it all, but on the surface a prisoner exchange does seem a good way to begin. The question is, can they be trusted? We had naught to gain by divulging the details of their internal divisions. As it stands, we have no reason to doubt them. But the ambassador's mention of Yotsu left me ill at ease. It made his grand talk of peace seem uncannily like lengthy preamble. You think this might all be a ruse to facilitate her retrieval? Perhaps, though I cannot fathom why they would go to such lengths. Yotsu may have been the acting viceroy, but she's not Garlean, nor even highborn. Her value must presumably lie in what she knows. Which brings us to the little matter of her memory loss. In her present condition, she would not yield any worthwhile intelligence, nor is she worth much as a bargaining piece. Avino, you're well acquainted with the Empire's methods. I would have your thoughts on the matter. My knowledge is at your disposal, Lord Hien. While the ambassador's proposal is appealing in principle, it would be remiss of us not to give it due scrutiny. Indeed, though it seems to me that I have little choice but to accept regardless. With so many of our brothers and sisters languishing in imperial camps, I cannot well turn my back on the chance to secure their repatriation. Only the kami know when I will be afforded another. But ere we continue, shall we excuse these two? I fear what follows will bore them to tears. I was just about to show myself out as it happens. Come on, Sereni, let's leave Alvino to dispense his copious knowledge. Someone still is sore from being made to watch at Sakazuki. Go on and keep Alice company. We are safe enough for now. Chance to relax at last. I know when I'm out of my depth, Serenia. Though no weapons are drawn and negotiation is no less a battle, the stakes can be every bit as high. One misplaced word and people could die. It takes someone with a cool head, and I'll be the first to admit that's not me. So that we're left with the eternal question. What to do while they prattle on? Let's just take the money. I have enough food. Alright, for want of a better suggestion, what say you to a brief tour of a newly liberated Doma? I'd be interested to hear how the people are faring in their own words, and it's not as if we're missed here. Or will we? Serenia, a moment if you would. Ah, Yugiri and Asai, was it? You have some business with Serenia? Business? No. Pleasure, my lady. I merely wish to exchange a few words with the famed slayer of gods and champion of Eorzea. It is truly an honor. Such heartfelt admiration. One could almost forget that you're an envoy of the Empire. Oh, is that so strange? We may have stood on opposing sides in the past, but I see no contradiction in lauding the woman who would do battle with our common enemy. And lest you forget, this is my homeland. It would be remiss of me not to at least thank her for containing the threat posed by the Kojin's vile icon. Now, if I may continue, as we speak, Lord Hien deliberates over my proposal and would take this time to see the land I once called home. Though Lady Yugiri is certain to be a jovial escort, the excursion would be all the more enjoyable for your company, and safer besides. The ambassador has the right of it. He's not like to harm with you at his side. Will you join us? I don't like him. I'm sure he's quite safe with you, Yugiri. Come on, Serenia. There's not else to do for us until Lord Hien has reached his decision. And were we not this moment discussing how best to learn more about the current state of Doma? It's settled then. The four of us shall make a brief excursion through Yangsha. May we start at the town of Monson and would see what has become of Doma Castle. Very well. If you will follow me. I don't like him. That guy just seems so fishy to me. I admit I was hoping for a more leisurely trip around Yangsha, but if it's a choice between this and lengthening to my brow, listening to my brother rambling on, well, here I am. Would that something could be done about those mechanical soldiers? Nay, can this truly be Monson, home of a dream of Doma's samurai? I had heard that Yotsu intended to send some few of our automata here, but only by way of warning. It should not have come to this. Indeed, her savagery served only to incense the people and spur them to rise up and protest. It was folly to think such methods of governance could ever prove effective. The sooner we can begin to make amends for this senseless destruction, the better. Securing supplies and support for the reconstruction effort should not prove difficult, once our nations are formally at peace, of course. Yes, of course. If you would have a better view of what remains of the castle, we must proceed through the ruins. I don't believe for one moment that he came to see the sights of Yangsha. The question, what did he come for? It's a travesty, a travesty! I remember the keep being so beautiful. In the light of a setting sun, one would swear it was a flame. It is indeed a doleful spectacle. Maybe we will build it. We will rebuild it one day, when we have finished helping our people to rebuild their lives. Spoken like a true popularis, the needs of the people must of course come first. Speaking of whom, would you be opposed to my seeing how they live firsthand? The village of Namai is but a short journey from here, if I'm not mistaken. By river, yes. If you will follow me, I will ready our boat. Sometimes in the last visit Namai, yet Issa often visits the enclave with young Asami, so we do not want for news from the village. Let's go, Ambassador.
Get back! I'm warning you!
Someone's in trouble.
Red Kojin.
Are you all right?
Hi.
What do they want with you?
Yuki, and you lot too. I don't know. We were returning from the Enclave when they came at us.
It seems they won't go quietly.
And neither will we.
Kill them all.
Away with you! It is nothing.
I got tired of these games. Where are our reinforcements?
Leave this to me.
All this stuff to chill? What do they even want with them? Let me do a villain. See to the reinforcements. Quickly! Aim for the younglings.
An opening. The art of my forebears.
Do it call for reinforcements and shall I? Come on.
Taste my steel! That seems to be the last of them. You have nothing to fear, child. You are safe now.
Thank you, sir.
You saved us again. Thank you. If you're ever passing by our village, look us up. You'll always be welcome.
Thank goodness we arrived when we did.
Indeed. But what could have prompted the Red Kojin to stray so far from the Ruby Sea?
I presume these are the sellswords hired by Yotsuyu. If so, the answer is simple. Desperation. Bereft of imperial employment, they seek other means to line their coin purses. Another sad legacy of the Empire's mismanagement.
The Empire to which you have sworn allegiance.
Must you always be so pointed? If we are to bring about lasting change, we must look beyond narrow allegiances. You have every right to doubt me. But in time, I hope you will come to see that we share a common goal. You and yours have fought fiercely to change the Empire from without. But if we are to end the cycle of conflict, the Empire must change from within. Am I wrong?
Not about that. True reform can only come from within.
I knew you would understand. You have witnessed such change firsthand, after all, during your time in Ishgard.
Someone is very well informed. No, I don't trust him, as I said, and these Kojin are mercenaries, sure. But that might mean he hired them for this convenient demonstration. After all, when the Kojin act on their own, they are all about gathering their sacred treasures and all that, right? And bring them to their vault, and these children didn't have anything like that. This doesn't fit. The Red Kojin's presence here does not bode well. We must inform Lord Hien. Quite a swordsman, isn't he? I wonder, did the Empire train him to kill before, or after appointing him ambassador? Dear me, I had hoped to convey my views on our nation's shared hopes under more peaceable circumstances. Yet this regrettable little interlude did afford me a chance to see the famed hero of Eorzea in action. And few Imperial soldiers can say that. At least few who lived to tell the tale. Okay, let's end this episode here. It's probably more than long enough. Until next time, when we continue here. I am Ace, and don't get lost.